All right, so I am here in Eugene, Oregon, and of course the USA Olympic Trials is going on, but there was no way that I was not going to make my predictions and give a little preview of the Jamaican Olympic Trials. There's so many storylines that are, going on as we've gone through 2024, entering these Jamaican Olympic Trials, especially on the women's side where I've done a couple videos. Definitely check those out for sure, but also on the men's side across the board. So I'm going to talk about some of these. I have some predictions, but just going to give a broad overview of, what I think about each of the sprint events as well as the hurdle events, and then some other high profile names that, of course we should be looking out for when we're going into these Jamaican trials. So most notably, we know the 100-meter dashes have been kind of up in the air for the most part, specifically on the women's side. Like I said, I've done a plethora of videos on the women's 100-meter dash, speaking about the big three: Shericka Jackson, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, Elaine Thompson-Herah, speaking about, their form. There's been questions, ups and downs, but let's kind of dive into who are some of the main players as we look forward to trials. Well, first off, the number one Jamaican in the world right now on time is Lamara Distin. She's run 10.91 seconds. She was competing at LSU this year. She finished second place at the NCAA championships in the 100, but she's been dealing with some ups and downs, some setbacks. We saw her leg had a little wrap on it, so she's not going to be competing at the Jamaican championships this year. So both in the 100 and the 200, the top Jamaican women on time is not going to be there. So that opened the door for so many women to potentially get on this team. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, she just opened up her season, but she only ran 11.15 seconds. So many people were predicting, 10.9 and 10.8. It's like, come on, yo. She opened up with 11.15, so that presented a lot more questions. Shericka Jackson, she opened up her season earlier running 11.03, which was pretty good, but then her 200s didn't look as great. So just questions in general, but let's look at the landscape here. First off, Shericka Jackson, in my opinion, is the favorite to get the win here at Jamaican Championships. Now, I know her coach, Stephen Francis, has been saying that, all his athletes are in perfect form and, are going to do something crazy. Could be, but on paper, just based on what we have seen, I'm going, with her 11.03. Probably she's in like 10.8. 10-8 form. Obviously, I don't know what's going on in practice, but I think that she's very clearly going to be the top Jamaican and going to comfortably get onto the Paris Olympic team in the 100-meter dash. I would love to see her run, replicate what she did last year, running 10.65 at trials or even faster, but just based on what we know and based on what we've seen, I'm predicting maybe a 10.8, but I would love to see something crazy. So Shericka Jackson, I think that she's going to be really good there. Then behind her, you have a plethora of women who are really in the conversation to potentially make this team, make it a little complicated on, who might be going to the Olympics. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, like I said, she opened up with 11.15 seconds. So wasn't as fast as I think a lot of people might have expected. I was probably predicting maybe 11 flat, maybe 10.9, but again, she's been dealing with some injuries. She's, of course, much farther along in her career, almost 38 years old, I think, at the end of this year. So, man, I mean, it's going to be tough to see what she does. It'll be tough for her to make the team. Why? Well, you have someone like Crystal Soley. She's broken 11 seconds for the first time this year. She's extremely young, and she is very much in the conversation to make the team, despite being so young. You could see this kind of this play out as maybe like a 2008. Remember, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, she beat out Veronica Campbell-Brown to get on the Jamaican Olympic team, despite Veronica being, Veronica was still in her prime at that point, right? She was the, I think, Olympic silver medalist from 2004 in the 100. She got the gold medal in the 200, of course, as well, but 2007 world champion in the 100. Then coming into 2008, in the form of her life, arguably, but she got fourth place at those trials. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, of course, went on to win the gold medal and become, in my opinion, the GOAT of the 100-meter dash. Could we see something like that with Crystal Soley? Now, I'm not saying that Crystal Soley is going to run 10.7 or 10.6 or 10, whatever that is, but I just think that Crystal Soley has a good shot to get onto the Jamaican team and then do some damage at the Olympic Games later on. Now, she may not even get to the semifinals, who knows, but just getting some experience and really being kind of this next generation of Jamaican sprinting. Behind her, I also have someone like Sasha Lee Forbes. She competed at the World Championships, I think last year and in previous years as well. Naisha Berger, right? She's been in the conversation. Brianna Williams has been up and down. Not exactly sure of her, how things have been going. I think she moved out to LA to be coached by John Smith. Alana Reed, the Clayton twins. So many women are in the mix to, I think, all behind Shericka Jackson. Shericka Jackson is the clear favorite, and then everyone else behind them is in the mix. But we'll see. So Shericka Jackson, clear favorite, and then behind her, it's a whole mix. Now, in the women's 200, I feel like it's probably a similar situation to the women's 100, but it's not maybe as deep when we're talking about, the women there. Shericka Jackson, I think she's a clear favorite. Even despite her only running, 22.6 this year and, some up and downs, 22.9, 22.8, I think that she's in a very good position to, of course, make the team. Clear favorite here going to the Olympic Games for Jamaica. So we'll see how that kind of pans out. I really would love to see her at least get under 22 seconds. Just like I noted before, the top Jamaican this year on time is Brianna Liston. She's run 22.31 seconds. No one has done that year. No one, right? So Shericka Jackson, though, I would love to see her go sub 22 and then really set herself up well to bounce back and maybe, get back into that, really gold medal conversation for the 200. 21.4. Obviously, she's not in that form yet based on what we've seen. But listen, who knows? She can surprise us all. Would love to see it. Now, behind her, and I actually should have mentioned this woman in the 100-meter dash as well, but Lene Teva-Thomas. Lene Teva-Thomas set a personal best this year, and she's really been on the rise in terms of, the consistency that she's been showing coming out of Texas last year. She's now still training, under Coach Flo there, along with Julian Alfred, Rashida Adeleke, Dina Asher-Smith. So she's in a very good group, and I think she is in my opinion, clear favorite for the number 2 spot in the 200-meter dash. She also could make the 100 team, so that's another point of conversation there. But I really like where Lene Teva-Thomas is. Then again, you have so many different women. Naisha Berger, you have Danae Oakley, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce might run, who knows, depending on what she does in the 100. So 200, a little up in the air, but key thing I'm looking forward to, Shericka Jackson, can she get under 22 seconds? And then someone like Lene Teva-Thomas, can she get under 22 seconds? Can she, really surprise some people here? I think Lene Teva-Thomas has medal potential in the 200. She really does. So keep a lookout for her. Now, let's talk about the men's 100 and 200 before we dip over to those 400s. On the men's 100 side, this also has been kind of open for the most part behind one major player, Oblique Seville. Oblique Seville is obviously in the form of his life. He just set a personal best, at Racers Grand Prix, beat out Noah Lyles. Oblique Seville is looking good, man. Oblique Seville is looking very good. And I'm looking to see, can he put down a marker at these Jamaican trials to really say, yo, that was not a fluke. I'm not coming here to just, run 9.8s and then run 9.9. Nah, I'm coming here to do something crazy. Can he run 9.7? I don't know. Oblique Seville is in that form. He's capable. He has that talent. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to be able to do here. He is the overwhelming favorite when talking about the 100-meter dash for Jamaica here. Behind him, it's really wide open. You can say that Akeem Blake is probably maybe the edge-on favorite for second place, right? He's been relatively consistent, but then also relatively up and down, right? He's had false starts or falling out of the blocks or these different kind of freak situations. But I do think that Akeem Blake has the talent and he has the ability to actually not only get on his team. Remember, he missed it last year. He finished 4th place, I think, at trials. But I think he has the ability to get on his team and then potentially challenge for a medal. Now, it's very competitive between Oblique Seville, Noah Lyles, Marcel Jacobs, right? All these guys are in the mix. But listen, we could see Akeem Blake hopefully pull something out. Along with him, it's a mixed bag, right? Julianne Fort, he's run decently good. Jelani Gordon, right? Adrian Gordon, Kashane Thompson is, in my opinion, Kashane Thompson might be the most talented Jamaican sprinter in the 100-meter dash that is, actively competing. Yes, I know Oblique Seville is, the top Jamaican sprinter for the past couple years, but I feel like Kashane Thompson has some of the most, the highest ceiling of any Jamaican sprinter right now. He just seems so talented. Now, I know, again, Stephen Francis said, my athletes like a Kashane Thompson, they're in perfect form, they're in the form of my life. I mean, but the problem is the one race that we saw from Kashane Thompson this year, he didn't even finish, right? He started decently well, and then 40 meters into the race, 40, 50 meters, he pulled up, and then he walked off the track. So it's hard for me to say. Some people were talking about it was a cramp. I mean, he was grabbing the back of his leg even before the race started. So it's tough to say. Let me be clear, though. I really, really, really hope that he is in good form. I really hope that he's healthy. I really hope he is ready to make this team and do some serious damage. He, again, I think he has the highest ceiling of any Jamaican sprinter right now. I think he is the most talented Jamaican sprinter right now, but that execution, actually putting it together, because outside of what we saw at the Chinese Diamond League, outside of what we saw at Prefontaine last year, he just hasn't actually performed to the ability that we might expect. So really looking forward to seeing Kashane Thompson, put something down. Check out the video that I did previously, kind of breaking down the current landscape of the men's 100-meter dash in Jamaica. Really kind of broke down the careers there, but we'll see. Oblique Seville, he's the only guy I'm really confident of to get this win, and it's going to be a mixed bag behind all the rest of the guys. Men's 200, man, that's all I could do. That's all I could do. I could sigh, right? I mean, Jamaica in the men's 200 has just, point blank, they've been struggling. They have absolutely been struggling. Off the bat, the number one person for the year in the 200 for Jamaica is Oblique Seville. He's not doing the 200. As far as I know, he's not doing the 200. He has a best of, 20.17 seconds from this year. So that's Jamaica's best this year so far, right? Ignoring what everyone else around the world has done. So no competition. But then let's even forget that, right? No Jamaican athlete has the Olympic standard of 20.16 seconds. No Jamaican athlete has that standard. So you're telling, it's like so crazy because Usain Bolt, right? Johan Blake, right? You know, who else? Nickel Ashmead, right? You had Warren Weir. Jamaica has a strong history in the 200 in recent years, but now it's just like gone down. The only athlete, unless someone really pulls something out crazy, the only athlete who is going to get the chance to go to the Olympic Games is Andrew Hudson. We remember Andrew Hudson. He went to the Budapest World Championships last year. He, of course, was in that freak, you know, golf cart accident where he got, you know, glass in his eye. And it's harsh, but the only reason he made the final is because he got that glass in his eye before the semifinals. He wasn't going to make the final. He wasn't in that 19.7 shape that he was in previous years. It's just a fact of life. But, man, he's run a best of 20.53 this year. Andrew Hudson is not, you know, going to do some serious damage unless something crazy happens. But, you know, we'll see what actually happens and what unfolds. He's probably the only Jamaican who's actually going to go to the Olympic Games. So we'll see how the progress goes. But that's the men's 200-meter dash. Looking forward to the 400s. For the women's side, I mean, Ackelia, she's run 48 seconds this year. She is in the form of her life. She is in the contention for a medal when talking about the Olympic Games this summer. She's going to be a very strong force. You have someone like Stacey-Ann Williams. You have Cherokee Young, Leah Anderson. All these women are in the conversation to potentially make the team to the Olympic Games for Jamaica. But, you know, I think Ackelia is a clear favorite for this team. So shout out to Ackelia. Going to be looking forward to seeing what she's able to drop. On the men's side, this is also kind of a mixed bag, and, you know, we haven't seen anyone really step up. You know, we have Javon Powell. He, of course, is coming off the NCAA. He's run really, really fast this year. You know, he's getting, you know, down into the low 44s. He's run 44.5, so I really like where he's at. Sean Bailey, he's the only other Jamaican to go sub 45 seconds this year. After that, everyone else is at 45 seconds. Raheem Haley's, you have Demish Gay, and then Antonio Watson, the reigning world champion in the 400-meter dash. He's been injured, right? I think at the Racers Grand Prix, we saw him kind of hobbling off the finish when Oblique Seville, you know, finished his ran his personal best. He went to go congratulate him, literally hopping on one leg. Antonio Watson, it's like he's not in the form that he was in last year, so not currently in the conversation. Maybe, I don't know how Jamaica does it though. Someone could let me know in the comments. Could he get a medical exemption? I don't know, but would it be fair to, you know, put him on the team over one of the other athletes if he hasn't shown fitness this year? I don't know, but that's a 400. So I feel confident about Javon Powell as well as Sean Bailey. Everything else up in the air. So we'll see how that plays out. Let's talk about those hurdles. The 100-meter hurdles, where this is actually very, very competitive for Jamaica. Off the bat, on the surface, Danielle Williams. She's a two-time world champion, 2015, as well as a reigning world champion in 2023. So two-time world champion there. She's run extremely fast. She's been pretty consistent. But one blemish on her career, she actually has never competed at the Olympic Games, right? I think in 2016, she might have hit a hurdle and she wasn't able to, you know, get to the Olympic Games. She hit her hurdle at trials. I think similar thing happened in 2021 where she might have just like hit a hurdle and fell back. So she's had some unlucky, you know, performances at the Jamaican trials, but I think this might be her year. This is her one missing accolade from the Jamaican trials and from her career. She wants an Olympic, whether it's gold medal or just medal in general. We know the 100-meter hurdles globally is extremely competitive, but I do think this is going to be the year that Danielle makes the team. But Jamaica, just like the rest of the world, they are extremely competitive in the hurdles. You're talking about Akira Nugent. You're talking about Yannick Thompson, right? Demisha Roswell, Amoy Brown, Megan Tapper, even Brittany Anderson. She's coming back from injury. This is a very competitive field. I would say, for the most part, I feel like Danielle Williams, Akira Nugent, those are my top two to make the team. And then after that, I'm not sure. And I don't want to say like number one, number two, just saying I feel confident that they're going to make the team. And then the other women are going to be in the mix, all fighting for spots. So we'll see how that plays out. Men's 110-meter hurdles, in my opinion, this is probably relatively clear. You have Hansel Parchment, you have Rasheed Broadbell, and you have Omar McLeod. Right, Hansel Parchment, he's the Olympic champion. He's been extremely consistent. I forget if he opened up a season, or at least I know he ran at Prefontaine. So, you know, he's been doing pretty well. Then you have Rasheed Broadbell. He ran at the New York City Grand Prix, you know, got a chance to speak with him a little bit, and he's been, you know, getting back into form, coming off, you know, some injury setbacks, I think. So I think he's going to be, you know, really good. And then Omar McLeod, he's had an insane career that, you know, you can't write a book about Omar McLeod's, you know, career, but he's getting back into form. So I like those three to make the team. Still could be competitive, but we're going to see how things play out. 400-meter hurdles. Rochelle Clayton, she is the clear favorite for the 400-meter hurdles. In my opinion, Rochelle Clayton should, she already has 2 bronze medals from 2019 as well as 2023 last year. I think she is very likely going to not only get on the team, but also contend for a medal at the Olympic Games. Yes, it's very competitive. You have Sydney McLaughlin-Roney, you have Femke Bol, you have a couple other women, but behind those two, it's pretty much just open. So I really like how Rochelle Clayton is looking, and I'm confident that she's going to get on this team. Behind her, you have Cheyenne Solomon, you have Anjanette Knight, you have Geneve Russell. A lot of women are kind of in that conversation to get on the team, so we'll see how that plays out. But Rochelle Clayton, I really like her, her consistency and the times that she's been putting down all throughout 2024. On the men's side, kind of mixed, but I think it's very clear. Rashawn Clark, he just missed a podium last year. He's run 47 low, so excited to see how things kind of play out with him. He's going to be one to really look out for. On top of that, Malik James King, he's in the mix. Roxroy Katoy, he's been in the mix. I think those are the only guys to run 48 seconds this year. So, Jamaica in the 400 hurdles, I think Rashawn Clark is the main guy. And Roxroy Katoy, I apologize for the pronunciation, but he's been kind of a mainstay when talking about 400-meter hurdling. He's been here for a while. So, huge shout outs to him for being able to kind of be in the mix right now. Now, that's the sprints, that's the hurdles. Just a couple other events to really highlight for the Jamaican trials. You're looking at Jaydon Hibbert. Jaydon Hibbert, he is in a contention for a gold medal at the Olympic Games this year. He had an amazing performance at the Racers Grand Prix. I'm looking forward to seeing can he get over 18 meters here at the Jamaican trials? Maybe. He's going to be big in that triple jump. Really excited to see Jaydon Hibbert. Speaking of the triple jump, we have Shanika Ricketts as well as Kimberly Williams. Shanika Ricketts is in the conversation for the women's triple jump gold, right? Yulima Rojas is out injured. Shanika Ricketts, she's got silvers. She's got a couple other medals, right? So I really like where she's at. She's going to be a very strong gold medal contender. In the women's, also in the triple jump, but also in the long jump, Ackelia Smith, she just came off the NCAA double at the, at NCAA's here in Eugene, actually. She's going to be in the triple and the long jump. It'll be interesting to see how she kind of progresses. I feel like globally she's been a little more competitive in the long jump, but she does have some strong chops in the triple jump. So we'll see how she does at Jamaican trials here. Long jump, continuing on with the men's side, Wayne Pinnock, Kerry McLeod, Tajay Gale, right? They're the 3 guys who you should definitely keep an eye out for. Wayne Pinnock came off the silver medal at the World Championships last year. Tajay Gale got the bronze medal last year as well, and Gale is also the 2019 World Champion. And then Kerry McLeod, he got the silver medal, I think, at the World Indoor Championships and finished 4th place in Budapest last year. So they have a strong contingent. Like, Jamaica has a very strong contingent when talking about the long jump. It's a competitive event right now where Tentaglu, he's of course the clear favorite when talking about the Olympic Games, considering his ability to perform when it counts, whether it's, the first jump or those clutch last jumps. But Jamaica is in a very good position. They could sneak up and get another 2 medals, right? Really, really good guys there. And then finally, Lamara Distin in the high jump. She's jumped 2 meters this year as well. I think last year she was a Commonwealth Games, or 2022, she was a Commonwealth Games champion. She's competed, of course, at the World Championships a couple times. So really looking forward to seeing what she can do. But those are just my kind of, predictions or, overview of the Jamaican trials that's going to be coming up just this weekend. Let me know who your favorites are. Let me know, especially on those hundreds. What do you think is going to go down? Is Shelly-Ann going to drop something crazy and be able to make the team? Or will we see a changing of the guard where, Shelly-Ann, Elaine, they're not going to make the team, and we're going to see some new blood really coming up? Let me know what you think. Always appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching.